Hey guys, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a first impressions video for you on a Real Steel. Another one. We had the Real Steel links last week. This week is going to be actually another Ivan Braginets design. This time, it's something much more affordable. This is the Real Steel Akuma. This is a knife that I kind of came across looking for some of the other stuff that Ivan has been working on, and I hadn't really heard a lot about this. I don't think it's super new. I think it's been out there for a little bit, but just didn't get a whole lot of attention. So when I saw this, I kind of checked into the specs, and I was pretty intrigued. So wanted to pick one up and check it out. And so here it is. Let me go ahead and start off with the features. That's sort of, between the looks, which I do find this is a really unique looking knife, very different in a lot of respects while still being very the same. um, so I like the look of this, very aesthetically appealing to me, and certainly different enough that it's not something a lot of people have seen before. But then it's got some interesting features as well. So we've got a drop point flat ground blade, satin finish, K110 steel, nice big opening hole here. We've got a single position thumb stud. It's a liner lock on bearings, and it also has this flipper tab here, which is really, really cool. I love these very minimal flipper tabs, and this one does a great job of it. Ivan has done a really good job, kind of placing this and making it very, very workable. Sometimes these small flipper tabs, they end up not working that well, but this one is really, really good. I already mentioned bearings, liner lock. Notice quickly, you can take a look here. It's just full G10 on this side. Liner lock is only on the lock side, or I mean the steel liner is only on the lock side. All right, we've got this heavily textured G10, repositionable to left or right side deep carry clip. However, let me say this. When I saw that, I kind of quickly looked and, I don't think this would work to reverse the whole knife to a lefty friendly carry. Just take a look at that. You can see how the thumb stud would interfere. You could remove the thumb stud completely, and I might actually try to carry it that way for a couple days just to see how it works. What am I missing here in terms of features? I guess proprietary screws, that's worth mentioning. And I guess that's really all of the features here that we want to go over. Size and weight on this guy. This is a full-size knife for sure. 8.5 inches overall. The blade length is just a hair under 3 3/4 inches. 4 13/16 on the handle. So pretty nice size handle, and the blade to handle ratio there is pretty good. To get 3 3/4 inches on a less than 5-inch handle, I think that's definitely a good thing. Tons of grip area here. You can see almost the whole handle is usable. And so if you measure sort of between here and here where your fingers are going to land, you end up with 4 3/8. And the weight on this is another pretty impressive number. I mean, it's not the craziest weight to size ratio we've seen, but 4.2 ounces for an 8.5-inch knife is very good. Okay, so just a hair over 4 ounces. I consider that to be pretty darn impressive. I'd love to know what you guys think down below, because I definitely feel like the looks of this are quite distinctive, and it's probably not everybody's cup of tea, but I don't know. I find it really, really attractive. Now, this, I think, is a pretty interesting knife. There's a number of different features here. It's taking a different approach than what we sometimes see. I mean, even the steel, like we're pretty used to seeing, D2 liner locks on bearings coming from, overseas makers. This is K110 steel, which is an interesting choice. The full G10. There are a number of things here that are just a little bit different than sort of the standard liner lock on bearings that we see from, Bestech and Steel Will and Civivi and over again, just with a slightly different footprint. So I'm pretty happy to see Real Steel stepping outside of the standard way of doing things a little bit and offering something pretty unique. And they've done that a few times before. I've got some Real Steels on the channel that are definitely kind of out there. So, let me know what you guys think. My initial thought is this. I like the uniqueness of this while it's still being very standard and very usable in terms of shape and cutting edge and all that kind of stuff. This is a very typical drop point style blade with a satin finish. fairly typical G10 handle. But when you look at the knife, it definitely looks different and interesting. And so here's what I think is great about this knife. Yes, you could carry a Rat Model 1, or you could carry, I don't know, a Civivi Backlash, let's say, which is, by the way, one of my favorite Civivis. But going with an option like this lets you have something pretty unique and pretty interesting without breaking the bank. You're not going out and buying a custom or anything crazy expensive like that. It's still pretty affordable, but is going to allow you to have something that's different and that not a lot of other people are going to have. I mean, unless everyone watches this video and goes out and buys one, which I wouldn't complain about, but I guess then it would be just a little less unique. So I think Ivan Braginets has done a great job with this design. I'm really happy that Real Steel has, taken a bit of a risk, because a design like this is a risk. Like, people could look at this and go, wow, that's a stupid, ugly knife, and I'm not buying one. And yet they made it anyway, and it's pretty cool. So that's my initial thought is pretty cool knife at a reasonable price. We'll take some time with it. We'll do some cutting, food prep out in the bush, all that kind of stuff, because I do think this is a pretty utility friendly knife. And then I'll come back with a full review in, as fast as I can, a month or a month and a half, or however long it takes me to feel like I know enough about this knife to share that with you. All right, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.